Hello, hello. I was just waiting for the internet to work. Please let me know if all is good. You can see good morning. If you can see me and hear me, please let me know. Hello, good morning. Perfect. You can hear and see me. Perfect, perfect. Okay. My chat box is showing very little chats. Okay, there we go. Okay. You can hear me and see me. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. We're having a really bad thunderstorms and heavy rain, and it was affecting the internet. And yes, you guys can hear my dogs. I have a special guest appearance today with my little dogs, Coco and Chanel. So I'll show them afterwards. But hopefully the internet stays put, stays okay. Do I sound choppy or does it sound okay? I just want to make sure that the internet's okay. Sounds good. Okay, awesome. Let's hope it stays okay. Thank you guys. So as you all know, when you join the webinar, we need some of that rain here in Central California. Ooh, yes. Pretty hot and dry. We'd be glad to send you some of that rain because this summer, it's a repeat of last summer. All rain. I don't think I've gotten a day to go to the beach because it's just rain. I can't complain for the rain because it keeps my garden hydrated without me having to water. So I can't complain. So it's like, what do I get, So, but welcome from California, Young. Let me know other ones, where you're from. Tornadoes and thunderstorms all week here. Mora, where are you from? Mora, Illinois. No, that's Illinois, Chicago. Mora, okay, Chicago. You know what? We have pretty similar weather. So either it comes from Chicago down to our way. So we have the same thing going on. I don't know about tornadoes. We did have some like a week ago, but it's been severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, and lots of rain. So, okay, so we got a lot of people. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining. We really appreciate it. And as I mentioned, I don't know, hopefully I can keep my little ones quiet, but I do have a little bit of a intro of my little ones to show you guys. Maybe you've seen some of my posts, but here we have today Coco and Chanel. They are Reflecticel ambassadors, and they approve of Reflecticel. So today we're going to talk all about lashes. And you know what? I was checking out my Coco and Chanel, and they've got lashes. They've got these cute lashes. So they're making the guest appearance. Thank you guys. Thank you. So if they hear a little bark, it's these little rascals. See, they're good in front of the camera, but they are a noisy bunch. Okay, so I'm going to just wait one more minute just for a couple more people to come in, and then we'll get started. One thing, my Yorkie has long lashes too, but my border, hi Terry, but my border, I missed what it said, but my border collie has like no lashes. You know what? That's like, I have another Chihuahua at home, and it's like, where are your lashes? They have so I guess it varies. Just like us humans, we got long lashes, short lashes, sometimes no lashes. So it's a mixture. Okay, so one thing I want to test before I start with the PowerPoint, I had recorded a really nice lash lift video, but it was giving me a hard time to download it onto my computer. And so what I did is I have connected it to my phone through the laptop. So I want to share the screen, and I just want to test with you guys because I did want to show this video afterwards, because it's all about tips and techniques, right? So that you can perfect using Reflecticel Lash Lift Kit. So I'm just going to share the screen, and then you guys can let me know if you see the video. I just got to find it first. And then window, let's see. Let's pop it open. Media player. Okay, let's see if that's going to show. And let me know if you guys can see a media player. The only thing is that it's rotating because I think of the internet connection. Let's see. Okay, something is up with the media player, but you guys, let me just see your comments. You guys can see this screen, correct? Let me just go back to your comments. It's trying. Okay, so you guys see the screen, but it's trying to load. Okay, let me see if I close. Okay, so let me just end the screen sharing and just, the good thing is you guys can see that, but the bad thing is I don't know why it's not playing. So let me just close that and let's see. Okay, it is giving a hard time. So you know what? We'll start with the PowerPoint and we'll see. And if something happens where it's not working, I will edit it properly and put it as a video for you guys to see in the thank you email. Because I recorded it nice and close so that you can see how I roll the lashes, because some of these tips are going to be what I'm going to share. I'm not quite sure why it's not opening. Like I said, today with this thunderstorm and everything, it's been causing an issue. So I don't know if it's just the power of the video. So let me just share the PowerPoint for now. Okay, so let's just share the PowerPoint. Okay, so when I share the presentation, we know it's going to be fine. It's going to show. Everybody can see that? Everybody can see the PowerPoint presentation? Perfect. Okay, so we'll start with this. I'll try and see if I can get the video working. If it doesn't, I'll show just like a shorter tutorial. But this video, like it's up there. You see me doing it. And if I struggled with something, you see me go over it. It was just a recording of me giving a service to somebody. And I thought just that raw of me doing it can see that it's not hard to do a lash lift. And you can see the tips that I've done. So Maura, you don't see the PowerPoint? Does everybody else see the PowerPoint? You might need to refresh your screen, because a bunch of other people said, yes, I believe that they could see the PowerPoint. Yeah. So Maura, just refresh your screen because everybody else said they can see the PowerPoint. Okay, try that and see. And if you're like, you might have to exit and come back in. Okay. So as we mentioned today, the webinar, so I'll do a little quick introduction of myself. So my name is Chrissy. A lot of you are great supporters and come ongoing and support me in the webinars that we do. So thank you for that. And a lot of you might be new today. So I didn't have a survey prepared, but how many are actually in today that are going to be new at actually offering and doing lash lift services? Because this is going to be a webinar that could help you, but it's also the webinar that's going to help the people who are using Refractive but need that assistant with some tips. So there's a lot of new ones in. Okay. Wow. Okay. A lot of new ones. Okay. So these tips are going to help you when you go and start doing these services. So take these tips. This webinar is going to be recorded so you can have it to rewatch it again. Take these when you're going to go do the service. For those of you that do it, and are still struggling maybe with the glue and results, this is going to help you as well. Okay. You've done quite a few, Brenda. Okay. So if it's with Reflectisol and there's something that you feel that you can perfect and do better, or maybe some of these tips, you're like, oh, wow, I don't do this. It could actually help my results even better. Take these with you and go strong with it. Okay. So what we're going to start first, because there is a lot of new people in today. So I did actually wanted to go over with who Reflectisol is. So it's great to know the history. So I've been doing lash lifts for the past 6 years. Oh, perfect. So you're more of a Sally, you're more of a veteran when it comes to lash lifts. So once again, there might be some tips in here that might guide you if you feel like you can even do a better results, or if you might have some troublesome lashes, how do you work with those? Okay. But just for you guys to know, it is a 2024, not 2022. It is a 2024 global brand. Reflectisol is the leader in lash and brow styling in over 80 countries. So they, set that, not criteria, but they're the market leaders, right? In lash and brow styling, whether it comes to what services you're going to use. Reflectisol has been around for over 90 years, especially when they started with their tints. So a lot of you will let me know that, Chrissy, I've been using Reflectisol for like 15, 20 years. That's because of it being launched in the 1940s. So it's been around for a long time, right? So yes, see, we get people saying that they love the tints, which is really nice because that's how it started. That's how Reflecticil in the market started. Okay, so there's a lot of you here that might have used it for a long time. Let's see. I'm always interested in how others work. Always want to learn new things. Great. That's a great mentality, Sally. We're always learning in this industry as well. Okay, so I have been using Reflecticil tints for the past 40 years. There we go, Sally. So we have a true veteran here. We have a true person who's been using it for a really long time. And even when we go to trade shows, we do hear a lot of people that come to our booth and say, this is the tint of our choice because of the quality, true to its results. And we never really have to do formulation changes with the oxidative tint, because sometimes what happens if other brands change the formulation, sometimes the results get affected, and clients like you, not clients, professionals like you can notice the difference of that. And sometimes that could be a downfall to that brand. So when you create great quality ingredients and it lasts for that many years without having to make all these different formulation changes, it makes a statement to the brand. Okay, so it's a great way for you to see how you would want to use, sorry, she's being a little loud, how you would want to use, if you're looking for a brand, what brand should you go with? We're not the type of people that will say, oh, you can't do that brand, do ours. No, we provide you the education, we provide you the knowledge of why potentially Reflecticil could be the one you'd want to go through. And then you check it with your other brand of choice that you're looking into, and you do your little study about it, and you see which brand is going to work for you. The main thing when choosing a brand in your lash lifts and your brow laminations and your tinting is that educational support, right? A brand can have a great quality product, but if you don't have that customer service support along with education, and if you need help and you need that continual support, not when you buy the product and that's it, they're done with you, right? No, it's that continual support and community. We really at Reflecticil pride in that we're always here for you to help you. We try our best to troubleshoot with you and have you love using Reflecticil in your place of business to execute the best lash and brow services to your customers. So that's one thing you should look at too when you're trying to find a brand, is what is their support, and also support and education. Okay. So as we mentioned, they are the market leader. Here's some facts that can wow you or help you. 100% of the tints, when we're dealing with tints, are made in Austria. They do have their own lab. So they're able to come up with formulations and so forth right in the lab, and not having to send it out. If there's troubleshooting issues and they have to perfect something, it gets done much faster than having to test it out, send it out, because they have that lab. Okay. They perform one lash lifting service per minute is performed. And, in Europe, it's very, very big, these lash and brow services, and about 800,000 applications per day. So we can see how important lashes and brows are to our industry, are to our business. Okay. A little mission statement. So coming from Reflecticil, from Austria to us, North America, we strive not only for the best products, but also to support professionals in delivering the best services for their customers. Hence why we do these webinars. And I hope you feel the same way, that these webinars are guiding you. I remember the webinar I did in May on the intense browns, how much feedback I had received, people telling me because of this webinar, I was able to perfect my intense browns because I was having issues with it. So that's what we're here for. And this is why I decided to do the same thing with lash lifts for those who might still struggle with it. And I want to be able to perfect that with you guys so that you're giving those services that are needed to your customers. So this one here says, giving women self-assurance 24 hours a day in all situation. Know that these services are also good for your male clientele as well. So everything Reflecticil, market it for your male clientele too. I've picked up a lot more on doing male services because they are seeking for these services. I took that and have joined every class since. Oh, thank you, Dana. That's awesome. So that helps us to know that we are on the right page, and we always take feedback. So if we're doing something wrong, you should reach out to us and let us know as well. But we appreciate that, Dana. Yes, lash lifts. You're probably wondering, well, what about a lash lift? Like, why should I offer this to male clientele? What's the benefit? Well, when you do also, we have a webinar in August on curl as well. The curl, I find, I do a lot on male clientele because not necessarily a male clientele might want that really lifted look, but they might want, no worries, Tina, you made it. You made it. They might just want just that little bit of rounded, just a little bit of that lift. And the curl, if you were to use the bigger roller, you can achieve just that really good lift for the male clientele. So don't just market these for your female clientele. Do some models as well on males and have those befores and after pictures to use in your social media as well. Okay. So now let's start talking about why lash lift and tint should be on your service list, because a lot of you guys are new today. So this can actually help you to be like, why am I waiting? I need to start offering these services, especially now in the summer season too, when a lot of more people are outdoors. It's hotter, and you might sweat a lot more. It's important to have some kind of service that if they don't have to wear a lot of makeup, they can have something that substitute that makes them look put together. And that's what happens with the lash lift and tint. The lashes put together your look with minimal makeup. Maybe you just have to pop on a little bit of lipstick. And imagine if your brows are done too. So if you're giving your client that complete service of a lash lift, a lash tint, a brow lamination, and a brow tint, literally no makeup needs to be put on. So great for low maintenance. And in the summer, we want that. Right? So as a professional here, it mentions in the PowerPoint in the beauty industry, you're probably already aware of the high appeal of glamorous lashes. We see how big lash extensions are in the industry, right? We see how it's a staple, like it's a majority of women seek out lash extensions if they are compromised some way their lashes, right? And after all, who does not want to have those their natural lashes to look long, voluminous, and dense, like thicker, right? So lash extensions do play that role. However, clients may often hesitate to try lash extensions, or as we call falsies, especially if they're do it themselves, because it can involve a little too much effort. Plus, if they're doing the falsies themselves at home, it's every day they got to put them on and so forth. And once again, that does not make it low maintenance. Okay. A lash tint and a lash lift is the perfect alternative. So if you are here and you are a extensionist, it's okay. Add on now to your lash extension services lash lifts. For those clients who do not want to do lash lifts, it brings more revenue for you, and they're very quick and easy to do. I have severe dry eyes and unable to wear falsies. Yes. So Melissa, that happens sometimes because of the glues, right? The glues are what can cause a lot of the irritation as to why people can't wear extensions or the falsies, right? So that way, if you don't have any reactions to the solutions and the glues from the lifting, then that could be your other option of doing to have your lashes look longer, right? Regardless of what system you do, patch testing is very important because chemicals are being used and glues, okay? But as we mentioned, a lash tint and lift is the perfect alternative for clients who want those lovely lashes without the hassle that comes in the extensions and the falsies. So if you want to grow your business and expand your services, right? You've gotten comfortable with your lash extensions. Now, what can I do to add more to my service and be quick and easy services? So offering a lash lift and tint would be a great addition, okay? So can you use growth serums in addition to the lift? I usually growth serums, we tell customers to wait 48 hours to start using them because a lot of them do have oils in them, and you don't want to affect that service within those 48 hours, right? And sometimes what I also tell, it hasn't been would you say chemistry? No, laboratory found, but sometimes I find that if somebody is using, because I asked this to people who come to me and say, my lash lift didn't work, and I did everything you told me, the tips. And then I asked, was the client up to the night before using the serums? And they're like, yeah. I go, try it next time, just out of curiosity. Tell them not to use it a week before their service, or even at least 72 hours before their service. And they come back and the lift work better. So sometimes I feel there hasn't been a finding yet from the lab to let me know, but I feel sometimes the serums can affect prior to doing a lash lift. But after that, they can go back to using the booster, okay? Any type of booster. So let's take a closer look at why lash lift and tint procedures can be lucrative in your business. Okay, it's suitable for most lashes, and that's why we also have two systems. So if your lash lift is not suitable for the really short, straight lashes, we have the lash curl. So you're basically able to most likely reach the majority of your clientele, right? So it's good for somebody who wants a little extra or those that want a natural look as well. So it fits those type of clienteles as well. It's a great alternative to eyelash extensions, as we had mentioned, because many can find lash extensions to be hard to maintain. Others can have allergic reactions. We had in the comments say because their eyes are very dry, they can't do lash lifts. They have a adverse reaction. So, and you can experience discomfort. And you don't want your clients to experience that discomfort as the days go, like while they have the lash extensions on. It's not comfortable. They might end up pulling them, taking off their own lashes as well. So what's the alternative, right? So a lash lift and tint is a convenient option where no glue is required. When we say no glue, is because when you're doing a lash extension, the glue rests, on the tip of that lash extension, and it rests on your root. So you're touching that mucous membrane in the skin. So with the glue, so people can get discomfort and reactions from that. With the lash lift glues are not at that stage or classified like the glues from lash lifts, lash extensions. Lash extensions glues have gone through a lot of improvement because way back the lash extension glues were actually giving a lot of reactions, like severe reactions. So they've gotten better, but the lifting glues are not to that extent of what a lash extension glue needs to do. So you shouldn't have issues with it. The most issues that you might have is when you put glue on the back side of the pad. I would say, Jessica, glue do not touch. They do touch the skin when you do it. When I'm talking about skin, I'm talking about, Jessica, the mucous membrane. Okay. So when you use the lash lift glue, it's going to touch the back of your skin, right? So when you take that lifting pad and put the glue on the back side of it, it's going to be touching the glue. That's the most that maybe you can have a reaction for lifting. But that is why it's very important to actually do a patch test. All your first time clients, you do a patch test, you record it. And I always say, do not just leave it for years that you never have to ask them again. Every couple of months when your client comes in, you should be asking them, okay, did any medication change? Are you okay? Any sensitivities, anything to your health? So you'll know if any changes have happened, if they might have a reaction to the lash lift glue. But the good thing too is a lot of companies, they're even trying to work with Merfecticil to create glueless pads. So that's a plus to totally eliminate that glue from the backside of the pad, which then makes it okay for people who have sensitivities, because then the only place you're putting the glue is on the top of the pad, and that's where only the hair is resting. Okay, so that could be a plus to somebody who might be allergic to the glue. In the meantime, with any of the pads that you have now that require our glue, another option so it doesn't touch the skin if they are sensitive is to take those lash extension tapes, the ones that are material, and place that on the lid, because when it's material, the glue sticks onto it, and then you could put the pad on top of it and it sticks to that. So that could be another alternative. Okay. In the meantime, until they get glueless pads, I think glueless pads are genius, really helpful. Okay. Youngly, I have clients with very short lashes that want a lash lift, but the smallest silicone pads, I have, are still too big for their lashes. Any suggestions on how to help these clients? So Young, this is where I mentioned that it's great to have the lash curl kit. So when you have the lash curl, or not just the kit, you don't have to get the kit, just the rollers, because the small size rollers in that kit will help you to use it towards those customers, because you are correct. The lash lift size small pad is a little too big for certain eyes. Even I see that too when I do my clients, is that sometimes I have a client that has small eyes and the bump might be a little too big too, that their short lashes doesn't work. But I don't want to send that customer away. So I have the alternative of the rollers, those cotton rollers, the size small. Okay. And until they are changing up a little bit of the lash lift with pads and so forth. Until we have that, this is the alternative for now. Okay, Young, awesome. Yes. Just all you have to buy is a small size roller because the glue and the solutions are the same for both systems. It's just the roller is different. Okay, so low maintenance, as we mentioned before, one of the biggest appeal to lash lifts and tints is the fuss-free maintenance it involves, right? Lash extensions require extensive aftercare routine. You got to maintain them. If you're going to do that, right? But it's advised by the technician, always maintain, shampoo, your lashes. Dark and longer lashes. Sometimes clients, they may have long lashes, right? But they may not look as voluminous as they want them to look. Maybe because the lashes are very straight, or they shoot straight down, or they bend forward, and this will make the lashes look shorter, even though they might have plenty of them. So when you do a lash lift, you're able to bring it higher. And when you tint, those tips of those lashes that are maybe lightened, that's what happens sometimes too. People don't realize how long their lashes can be just by a simple tint, because it's been from the sun lightened, right? So once you do the tint as well, lashes tend to look longer. Okay. And also it's highly addictive. Once your client sees the results, how easy, maybe they had to sit in the chair 45 minutes. Once again, it's quick. Lash lifts are quicker than, can be quicker than lash extensions as well. For lash extensions, you don't want to go to somebody who's going to complete it in like 30, 40 minutes, because it's that intricacy to get those each lash to rest nicely, right? You don't want to rush something like that because it can portray in the results, right? But once customer sees how quick it is to get a lash lift and tint, how long it lasts, it can last 4 to 6 weeks, depending on your client and what they do with the home care routine, right? Once they see that, they're so happy with this, and they're coming back and they're returning every 6 weeks into your chair. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Any questions so far? I know a couple of you had good questions. So far, straightforward. A lot of you guys who haven't gotten into lash lifts and tint, maybe you're thinking in your head, okay, this is appealing to me now, right? Now what we're going to do is get into the techniques, okay? Because like I said, whether you're new or whether you're seasoned, sometimes, or if you're not new at lash lifts, but you're using first time our system, these tips are going to help regardless of what stage you're at, okay? So we're going to see some steps to keep in mind when using the Reflectacil lash lift system that will help you perfect your application skills, okay? The first one, preparation. Very important. And then the aesthetic industry and the beauty industry, when we're doing treatments, preparation is a big deal. It, by the word, prepares for what's going to follow through. It helps the glues to work together. It helps the solutions to penetrate. So preparation is key. If you do not prepare the lashes properly, your service will fare at the end. Your results will fare at the end. And that's a waste for a client to sit in the chair, even for 45 minutes. If they came on their lunch break, they want results. They don't want to leave with no results. So when you're preparing the eye area for a lash lift, it's very important. You might already know our micellar eye makeup remover, great size, lasts forever. It doesn't expire till 12 months after opening, but it's micellar. It's also non-oily. Okay, and it's lash strengthening. So it's got great properties with the amino acids to help with that conditioning. So you could use this. If you have somebody who is maybe a little bit more they could be highly sensitive to any type of cleansers, we do have a foam that's really good for customers who are a little bit more allergic. Okay, a little bit more sensitive. And as well, the foam, I really like using foam on lashes. You can use it on brows too, but lashes, it helps to lift that debris upwards and outwards of the lashes, especially if they have layered long lashes. That's what that foam technology does. So, and it's also lash extension safe. So if you're in here, you're a lash extensionist and you're really trying to find we get a lot of them calling and asking, do you have a good shampoo that we could, retail to our clients? This one's a really good one. Okay. It's got also aloe vera. That's really good for keeping sensitivities down, keeping the calmness. Okay. So you can either choose the liquid or the foam for your client. I always have both of these on my treatment table because I never, if I'm getting a new client, I never know what their reaction will be or what they tell me when I do my consultation. I know what to use on them. Now, The second thing to do, so we understand the preparation, right? Because the saline, we're going to go to the saline solution now. So let me just mention one more thing. If a client comes in with no makeup on their lashes, please still do this preparation step. It's going to be faster, but you still have to do it. We have environmental factors, we have dust, debris that can get trapped into the lashes. And sometimes, the customer says they clean their eyes properly, but a really good mascara, sometimes if it has fibers or they've used a waterproof, sometimes still is trapped in your lashes. So when that happens, and they come to you and and they tell you, oh, my lashes are nice and clean, you don't have to, we can skip that step, and they're not properly cleaned and you didn't do your step, something in there can interfere with your service and the results can be weakened. So always do either the foam or the micellar. It will just be faster. It's great to tell your customers to come in without makeup, because if I came with all my layered of mascara, it'd be annoying to sit there and having to wipe them off, right? Okay, so the second thing, give me 1 second, is what about saline solution? Okay, so in all of our services from Reflectisol, except intense browns tinting, you use the saline solution as a second cleansing step. It is going to degrease the area, remove anything that was left over from the makeup remover, and allow your solutions and your glues to work properly. Okay, it's like almost that second cleansing security. So a lot of people, once again, that came to me and said, Chrissy, we followed all your steps, all your techniques. We rolled the lashes nice and tight and blah, blah, blah. I tell them, go back to, because everybody thinks preparation, it's no game, like no brainer. We know what to do, right? But I tell them, go back and check in your prep. Did you use saline? They're like, no, just your recommended micellar. Okay, I tell them, go buy the saline go buy the saline and test it out and do the service. And sure enough, they come back to me and say, you know what? My results came out better because of that degreasing. Okay. Sometimes you have customers that produce a lot of oil too, and it can come in their lash glands too, like in their eye. So it's great to use this. Okay. So understand that for the lash lift, lash curl, oxidative tinting, you need to use this as a second step. Okay. It plays an important role. Okay, let's go now to drying time. So your lash fan is going to become your best friend. Actually, it's really hot in this room, so I'm like, this is a great also fan to cool you down. I think our AC stopped working, so it's pretty hot. But drying is very, very important. Okay, because at what times is drying important? Right after your prep. Right after you prepared the lashes with the two solutions, they're wet. The area is wet. You want to dry it before, because then it's going to accept what you're doing next with the glues. And when you're rolling them, they're not going to be too wet. So dry them out after you've cleansed them. It also helps the lashes to separate. When they're wet, they're clumped together. And when you're rolling them and you're clumping them together, that's how they're going to come out when you're setting them. So you don't want that. So dry them out, take a spoolie, and as you're drying out the lashes, you're separating them with your spoolie. Okay. But that's not the only time you're going to use it. I haven't found this dryer. I've seen you show. Oh, okay. So Dana, this was just gifted to me because it says Reflectisol, right? But they have the same style, because this is just bought in bulk and they just put the logo on it. The same style is on Amazon. So lash fans are pretty good on, it doesn't necessarily have to be this design. I have a different one that I use as well at home, a longer one with a stand. So it doesn't really matter. Any lash fan you want to use. We don't sell these because by the time we are to sell it to you guys to use as professional, it's going to cost like $30, $40, while on Amazon, they're like 10, 12 bucks. Okay. You're welcome. But when else should you dry your lashes? You should dry them after the first step of your lash perm. Okay. So after you've removed the lash perm, then you're going to dry. You're just taking the fan, you're just putting it over. Don't touch no spoolie, because those lashes are resting on the pad. You don't want to brush anything, or else you're going to lift them off the silicone pad. So you just take the fan and go like this and just dry that area, dry the other eye, and that's it. Now you're ready for part 2 of the neutralizer. This was asked by me when I went to visit the manufacturer in Austria. They asked me, Chrissy, can you go test out this theory and tell us, does it actually make your lashes lifted better? It actually does, because think about the intense brown system. It's a gel. We tell people you have to dry in between the gels, or else each gel is not going to sit properly on the hair. That's the same thing with the solutions and the lash lift. If it's wet from the previous solution, you go and apply the neutralizer, how is it going to work properly and on that hair when something is interfering and it's not dried? Okay, so it plays an important role to dry even after your first step of your lash perm. Okay, and all these steps that I'm going through right now are actual. That's why I decided to do this webinar. These are the steps that I actually go through with people when I have to troubleshoot one-on-one with them. When they call and they say, I'm having issues, I did it on the customer, didn't work. This is exactly the steps that I go through. I'll provide it as a PDF for you guys as well, so that when you go to do these services, you have these steps to know along with the video. Okay, so let's go now to the other one, rolling lashes on the silicone pad. This is an important step as well. You should take your time and you should make sure that you section it into 3 sections, if the eye permits. Sometimes somebody's eye is really small, so you only have 2 sections. So what do we mean by that? Don't put the glue on the whole pad and start rolling the lashes up. What will happen is that the glue will dry by the time you reach your other area. And because of that, you might be like trying to roll them really fast just to reach to the other end. And then you're not rolling the lashes how they should be. Nice, taut, straight, and with pressure and separated. You're rushing so much. This is the part in the service that's going to take the most time. Okay, because you're sitting there and rolling them up nice and straight and separated, and that way the results come out fuller. It looks full and voluminous as opposed to clumped out together. Okay, now I'm not there to show you and pressure and show you the feeling, but what I teach when I do these classes and I'm in person is, as you're using either your lifter tool or your orange wood stick, when you're rolling the lashes, I always say push down. Push. It doesn't hurt their eyes. You can just ask the customer if the pressure is okay. As you're pushing down, you're rolling at the same time. So it's a pressure down and rolling. That helps you to have the lashes stretch out nicely over the silicone pad so that you see the whole lash from root to tip, because it becomes a important part when you're applying the first, like the solutions. Okay, so that pressure really helps to get them nicely stuck onto the silicone pad. Now, the question is to see or not to see waterline. I've seen posts where some people are saying, yes, waterline, and some people are saying, oh no, it's so bad to have the waterline showcase and blah, blah, blah. So there's that controversy. Now, we don't mean, like in this picture, as you can see, there's a very minimal of the mucous membrane that you can see, very minimal of that root that you can see where the lashes start. That's all you need to see on the pad. The reasoning why you need to see the water line a little bit visible is because when you're applying the solution, it should reach close to the roots, not touching the skin and tip of the, like at the close to the root where there's skin, just where the hair starts and it becomes volume. But that requires for you to see that area. What happens is if you don't have it nice taut over and you can't see how close you can place a solution, what you end up doing is lifting the eye to see how close you can get. And then you can't sit there and hold the client's eye like this. You let go. And what happens is the solution goes into their eyes. So it's not the fact that sometimes you see on social media, people's water lines like flip like insanely up. No, you just want to see a little bit of where the root is starting so you know how to place a solution there. Okay. So I found I need more glue to get resistant lashes, but then removal is a pain. So if it's with our glue, removal should not be a pain with putting more glue, but there is a tip of the type of security glues that you should do. You don't necessarily need to be placing that excess glue all over the lash. It could be in certain parts. But I think when people say that they're having a hard time removing at the end is because maybe you're not using any water. Many people are like, oh, you're not supposed to use any water at all at the lash lift. So they're trying to release the lashes dry. No, you can use a little bit of water, especially when you're tinting afterwards. You just put some drops onto your cotton round, go like this back and forth on the lifting pads, and your lashes lift up. My removal time from lash lifts is literally 30 seconds. It's pretty quick, even when I have to use a lot more glue. So you have to use a little bit of the water if you're not using any water. Okay, so we understood the waterline part. Okay, now glue application. Here's some tips when you're using the glue, because in all honesty, you have to become one with the glue. Okay, I am finding that the lashes are popping off during. Oh, we got the answer to that one too. Okay. Somehow it's not showing your names so I can see it. So Melissa, Dana. Okay, yes, we'll get slides to that as well for when they pop up. Okay, so this is actually in the glue section. So when you're applying the glue on the silicone pads, work it in sections as we mentioned, right? Start from the outer corner, then work in the center, then work in the inner corner. This way you're able to work with the glue as well peacefully and you're not frustrated, okay? So when you apply a little bit of glue on the silicone pad, when you start in the corner, apply the glue, let it dry, maybe about 5 to 6 seconds. Don't start rolling when it's wet because it hasn't become tacky. And what happens is that you're rolling, but the lashes keep popping up because it's too wet. And then the glue is gone, done, like it's not there anymore. And then you're fighting with those lashes. So let it get a little bit tacky. Now, don't let it go past that 10 seconds because then it's going to dry out. Okay. Also depends on how much volume of that glue you're putting, right? But when you see my webinars, I work in very little increments of glues. You don't want to overdo it with the glue because then it becomes a barrier. And we're going to have a slide about if you do use a lot more glue, what you have to do. Okay. So wait till it gets tacky. Okay. And work it into 3 sections and then you can start rolling it. Okay. There's going to be times. So here's some tips when using the reflective. So, here's another tip when using the glue, which a lot of people have told me this happens to them. And it's happened to me too. If you work that one section way too much, like you're rolling and you're rolling and you're rolling because you want to make them to stick down, maybe 1 or 2 hair keeps popping and you're rolling and you're rolling, the glue tends to dry out. Think of wax. When wax gets cold, it gets stringy. So when the glue gets dried out, it gets stringy. And that area that you were working, that's all stringy, when you lift your brush up, like your orange wood stick or your lifter tool, when you lift it up, those lashes tend to lift off of that as well because it's dried out and there's no glue. So as soon as you start seeing it get stringy, grab your like disposable lip brush because you don't want to cross-contaminate, and take some glue and wet the area. Just apply a little bit of glue so that the area gets wet and then you can continue to work it. Because as I mentioned, this is the time, this is the part that you're going to take your time. So the glue can tend to dry out if you're working that area too much. Just re-wet it. Okay, makes sense? Good. Okay, so there we go. I went ahead. So what you need to do if you get that stringy is that you need to re-wet the area and work the glue in smaller increments, okay? Because then it will become a barrier. So if you're trying to figure out the proper glue, like you're practicing and you've used a lot of glue, but then you're eventually going to get better with the practice. If you've used a lot more glue than you should, your timing has to change because that solution won't be able to penetrate in time into the hair. Okay, so that means that if you have the tubes that say 6 and 4 minutes and you've used a little bit more glue, you might have to think of doing 8 and 5. If you have the tubes that say 8 and 5 minutes, you might think of having to do 10 and 7. So 10 minutes for the lash perm, 7 minutes for the neutralizer. Okay, so take that into consideration because the more glue you use, the more barrier it becomes. And then you're like, well, Chrissy, my results didn't come out. Well, how long did you leave the solution? 6 minutes, like the tube says. Well, it's because you apply a little bit more glue and it became a barrier and the fast timing solution is not enough. So you need to add another 2 minutes. Okay. Let's see. There's a question. Who is it from? Sorry, I can never see the name. Let me just see who is this that said this. Okay, Tamra. Hey, Chrissy, is the class recorded? I will have to leave shortly to set up. Yes, it is. It is recorded, and we put it up on our website. But after this webinar, you get a thank you email as well with the recording. Okay, so we always have it provided. No worries. No worries. If you have any questions to ask about anything here before you leave, let me know. Okay, you're welcome, Tamara. Sorry. Okay, so. Everybody understands this part. It's so important. So I hope everybody understands that if you're using a little bit more glue, this is what you have to do with the timing. Okay. Now, that security glue. So for those questions that people had asked me, sorry if I forgot the names, but sometimes some lashes, they can give you a hard time. I did a training, almost a month ago. I flew into New Jersey to one of our distributors and, I told them, find me a model because for the class, I'm going to show a live model. And the model that they gave me, she had very, very straight, but rich lashes. They were long, they were rich, thick. Like when I say rich, they were nice and thick, the density of the hair, but they shot straight down. Boy, did her lashes give me trouble. It took us at least a half an hour just to roll those lashes up. But in my head, I was getting frustrated, but remain calm when you're teaching, right? I was getting frustrated, but I was able to show all these tips. No worries, Rossi, you're good. I was able to show all these tips that I'm mentioning now, like especially this tip right here with the security glue. And I was able to show how I go and I try to make it work because I didn't want to give up. If that's a paying customer, I don't want to give up. I know eventually it will work, but it requires my patience. Now, if that client has the time for you to work it and be honest with them and tell them you have amazing lashes. Your lashes are very rich for this treatment. So I'm going to have to work the glue a little bit more with you. So basically, every time I rolled her lashes, they would pop up. Then I would put some glue. As you can see, it's some of the tip here, the second bullet, it says roll glue on the back inner side of the hair. So sometimes if you have lashes that don't want to stick down, take the glue, instead of applying the glue on the top part, apply on the back side. Then as you take your lifter tool or your orange wood stick, I find the lifter tool is amazing because it's got the brush part, it's got the end part to separate them as well. It's a great tool. But when I want to apply more pressure, I use an orange wood stick. So I simultaneously go back and forth with these. Okay. So with the orange wood stick, as I put the glue on the back side of the hair and wet it a little bit, remember, small increments. Okay. As I put the glue and then I start to roll, I put that pressure, and halfway of the hair, I pause. I pause for like 10 seconds and I hold it down. So with this model that I had to repeat that multiple times. But at the end, it worked. And then there's a question that somebody asked me that my lashes pop up during the service. I'm going to mention that too. It worked. And her results, I posted it on Instagram. There's a video of a girl with her brow lamination in her lashes and I'm panning it out. Oh my goodness. Even I was in shock because imagine if that was a paying customer. She's like, oh my goodness, thank you. You made it work. I know it works. You can give up on me and I don't get this service done. So these are the tips that you're going to want to understand to do when you have a customer that's going, their lashes are going to be fighting you. They literally were fighting me. I wanted to slap them around. There's a question. What do you do with clients that keep moving their eyes? Valeria, you want to slap them around? No, you want to. Okay. So that's a hard thing because a lot of customers, their client's eyes, they just do that on their own. You can't control it, right? So once again, you have to be, don't smack them. I was just joking. You have to be very calm yourself to deal with that. Breathe and just work with it. Now, if it becomes too much, because one more thing, if their eyes constantly, I had somebody where their eye was constantly like shifting, what happens is that all that movement can create as well tearing and can also create the solution getting into the eye. So it starts to become very irritant. If it becomes so irritant where you have to remove it, most likely for that customer, maybe you can't do this, but I've done it where I've made it work. So what I do is when I see that their eye starting to tear from all that, like just some people, their eyes just twitch, right? I have them hold a Q-tip or I have a Q-tip ready. So every time I see wetness, I put the Q-tip there to hold that wetness so that I can proceed still with the service. So that's what's going to happen with the flickering eyes. You're going to have tearing. You're going to have just the pad moving a lot when you're trying to apply the lashes. If you can be calm and breathe, you can do it. I've done it on a couple of people and it's worked. Okay. It could be a nervous tick too for the anxiety. Like some people don't like to have their eyes closed for such a long time that it creates anxiety for them. And I had customers tell me that. So make your environment nice, put some music, dim the light so that the light doesn't be bright even when their eyes are closed. You can kind of feel that light. Make the room environment as well good. Okay. And assure them all the time, calm them, assure them. Hopefully these can work. I don't know if you've tried these, but see if these work for you, Valeria. Okay, they've helped me because I want to reach out to all my customers. I want to give the best service to all my customers. Okay, good question though. Okay, so you see those tips there, right? We mentioned apply pressure when you're rolling. In some of the sections, pause, hold it down the pressure so that you're pressuring for a couple of seconds there so then you securely make it stick down, especially for those stubborn lashes. Roll the glue from the back side so that you're not always caking the glue on the top side. You're distributing it evenly so that the solution can penetrate through. So that's why I do the back side. Okay. Oh, thank you guys for responding. Thank you. And then the other security glue that I do is you can apply the glue on the tips of the lashes because we don't put solution on the tip of the lashes because it's old growth, right? I'm not quite sure if I mentioned this. Do I mention this right here? No, okay. So because our tips, I thought I mentioned it somewhere, but because the tip of our lashes are old growth, we don't put, oh yeah, there we go. Apply glue on the tip of the lashes as no solution goes on the tip, which means this will help to hold the lashes down in place during your lash perm solution. So just dab, 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 dab on the tip of the lashes and you're good and you'll be secure. They're going to stay down. And then you don't have to worry about putting so much glue on top of the rest of the lashes that need the solution. Now, the other thing is that you might have new growth. Okay. So you might have lashes that are growing back, but they're half the length. So that's where I put the security glue in the center. So I dab, 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 dab in the center. I don't touch it. I just dab and let it dry. So that then I have that area there the glue's going to hold those lashes down so that during step number 1, my lashes can stay down. Now it can happen because the lash perm solution can break down the glue because it's water soluble. Sometimes you might see 1 or 2 lashes pop up. Okay. There is a part that I'm going to mention in the slide, what you have to do. Okay. So, and if there's any question that was not in this PowerPoint, ask it because it could be added as something, how to troubleshoot it so that I can fix it and send it to you guys properly. Okay. So application, when it's time to apply the lifting solution, it's important to be generous with it, not caking it on so much, but you need to have that proper coverage and saturation. As you can see in the picture, the saturation of it is I don't see the lashes through. Now, remember we said the tips stay free. Okay. But where we put the solution where it should be, it's pretty generous where we don't see hairs through. Because sometimes people have layered lashes. If they have layered lashes, and if you're a lash extensionist, those are the worst because you got to like sift through them, right? And put the extensions. But how are you going to make the solution be able to go through those lashes if they're layered? So be generous with it so it can reach down, okay? So your amount will also vary depending on the density of the lashes. We might say pea size, but that varies. If you have thick or male client lashes, your piece size becomes a little bit much more, right? To what you would use if somebody had thin lashes. Okay. So, and as we said, do we need to cover the whole lash? No, only from the roots to the center, and the tips are free because of old growth. Think of like when your hair is dry on the tips, like you have split ends, the more you put heat to it, the more the split end goes higher and higher and higher, right? So that's the same thing with the lashes. You don't want to be putting any solution that can make that damage higher and higher and higher, right? It could be a damage from another professional that did a lash lift and damaged and fried their hairs. It could be from lash extensions, from overly doing lash extensions. It could be from sun exposure, right? So we want to be careful. Okay. Application technique, apply the solution in a dabbing motion. So I show these in the video too. It's dab, 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 not brushed on. A lot of times when I do class and I see people brushing the solution on, they're brushing it too much that solution is making the glue, because it's water soluble, break down and then lashes start to pop up. So they're fighting against those lashes. Take a little ball at the end of your brush and dab it, dab it, dab it, dab it. And that you're going to get a nice thicker application and you're not disrupting the lashes by like brushing them. Okay. That I found it a really good tip and it's helped me. Okay. Then we have lifting of lashes during processing time. So it can happen, especially, remember, I bring it back to that model that I had at one of the distributors that I did the class. Her lashes did pop off because her lashes gave me trouble right from the get-go. So I knew, oh yeah, I'm going to have a couple of them pop off. But what you need to make sure is the first thing. So let me see, there's a question. Service many times a day and every day of the week, and this has never happened. Oh, you never had any of your lashes pop up? That's good though. Did I read it right? Hold on. Let me see your name. Very rare. Yes. So it's very rare because when you take your time during the part to roll the lashes and apply the appropriate glue, you shouldn't have, right? The only time you will have this issue is if you're working with very, very, very annoying lashes, right? Very stubborn lashes. That's the only time it can happen. So it becomes pretty rare, right? Like I do demos and distributor classes, so many, and I could do 20 good lash lifts until one client, their lashes are like hard to work with, but I still make it work. So it's true. So when this happens, what's important to know is, as long as those hairs, when you start looking at the lash perm solution, you left it on 6 minutes or 8 minutes or 10 minutes, monitor and look at them, right? If you're starting to see lashes pop up and they come out through the solution, grab a little bit of the ball and try to wet the area. Now, be mindful not to wet the tip. If you wet the tip, if they don't have any damage, it's okay. But what I tend to do is I make sure that that hair can be wet with the solution. Even if it's sticking up, I try to make it wet, because then the breaking down of the bonds and the keratin is still happening. Okay. Because if it sticks out through the solution, it's not wet anymore, it could weaken. It won't break down properly. We need the keratin, the bonds, to break down so that we can reform them to the pad size and then set it with the setting solution. So if they don't get a good breakdown of the bonds and the keratin, then we're not going to have an effective lift. Okay. So make sure it's wet. You might have to grab a little bit of that ball and dab it again in that area. Okay. Now, once that's done, okay, and it's time, let me see if it's in this next one. Hold on. Yeah. Once you've removed the solution, the 8 minutes, or, it's done. No, not with water, solution only. Monique, just solution. Grab a little bit more of your lash perm solution and wet that area, because we want the bonds to be breaking with the lash perm. That's the lash perm, step number 1. That's what it's doing. Yeah. If you put water, end game. All your lashes will stick up because of the water soluble glue. Yeah, no water. So, but after you've finished the timing and you've wet that area and the timing is up, take a dry Q-tip, remove the solution dry. Remember, it's always dry, never put water. And then re-glue those lashes down, because after you remove it, dry the lashes so it's not wet, and then re-glue them back down. Okay. Once you re-glue them back down, then you can go and do the neutralizer. Why this is important? If the lashes are not glued back down, they're lifted up in the air. And what's going to happen is that they're not going to take form to lifting pad. So they're just going to fall back down to a shapeless lash lift. So we want to make sure that we re-glue those lashes down, and then we can do the neutralizer. Okay. So far, there was a couple of questions that people had asked. And I said the next slide would tell you. Has it been answered? Before I go to the next one, has something not been answered? Let me know and I will answer it. But let me know if these are, so Melissa, yes, you said yes, because I know you've asked a couple. I don't know if Dana had asked something, but hopefully Monique, everybody. Okay, perfect. Once again, if I didn't answer your question, let me know. But I know for some of them, I had them in the slide. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. This is helpful. I didn't think to re-glue before applying the neutralizer. Yes. Very important, because when they're sticking up in the air, when they're sticking up in the air, they're not taking shape to anything. That bump on the pad is what's giving them that lift. So that's a very important step. And it's going to help you a lot with your results. So thank you for letting me know that. Okay. So what's our other ditto? Did not know you could do that. See, we are always learning in this industry, right? Okay, so removal, wet removal or dry removal. So dry removal is always the winner. And I mentioned that in the step before. I said in between your steps of your solutions, anything you do, a brow lamination, a lash lift, a lash curl, a intense browns, whatever, each step, you got to remove it dry. Okay. Will this recording be available soon? I didn't notice the times. Yep, it will. You get it in your thank you email. So when it comes in your thank you email, you got to download it and then save it somewhere on your desktop. Otherwise, we put it onto our website, our Reflector Cell Education. Yeah. So always, you're welcome, Amber. Always dry. Okay. And that way, because once you apply water, you've interfered with the process, and we don't want to do that. It's a waste. Okay. The blowout. I find this really funny. So the blowout. Remember when you go get your hair, you do get a blowout. You go and get just a blow dry service, because it makes your hair look nice and styled, not frizzy. The blowout, you can do the same effect with your lashes. You know how you take the brush, you take your blow dryer, and then you blow out the hair nice like that. You can do the same thing with your lashes. So at the end of the service, when you're done, when you finish your tinting and you remove, because you have to use a little bit of water to clean the area at the end from the tint and so forth, take your fan. Let's get my fan. Thank you, Coco. Take my fan, take my brush, and as I'm fanning the lashes to dry, I'm rolling them up with the brush. So I'm doing a blowout, right? And no word of a lie, the lashes get longer and longer in the lift. Like they get lifted and lifted because of the drying. It's not wet and weighted and it lifts. Okay. So do that blow out. Even if you market it that way, it sounds fun. Get your lash blowout. Okay. So that's an important step to see at the end, the effect of the lift. Okay. Aftercare, very important as well. We do have these aftercare protocols. Can you use more glue? Dana, during what portion? To style? No, you wouldn't want to use the glue to style. You can use a styling gel to style. Is that the question? When you mean to style, you can put the styling gel on after you do the blowout, because the styling gel is what's going to give the shine, the conditioning, because you did a processing service. So you want to condition. So you would use the styling gel. The aftercare. So what we're doing right now is I thought it's time for me to change the website and upgrade it a little bit. So I'm working on changing the website, and we're going to upload these protocol cards as well. You can download the whole sheet, bring it to a printing company and print them, or your local distributor. You can ask them to order them from us. We have nice ones printed out, nice little postcards that are glossy that you can be handing. They come in a bundle of 25, and you can hand them to your customers, all your first-time customer, on how they should maintain their lash service at home. Okay. Very, very, very important, because if they don't follow these steps, they're going to come back. They can't come back complaining because you shared each of these steps of what they have to do. Okay. Do you use water after removing the neutralizer to remove the lashes from the rod? So you remove each solution separately. With a dry Q-tip. If you want to tint on the pads, you can, and then you tint, and then you remove the tint dry first, because you don't want to put wet because it can go into their eye. After you're done removing all the bulk of the tint or the last solution of the neutralizer, then you take a cotton round, you drop a couple of water drops on it, like a couple, you don't drench it. And then you start to clean the eye area on the pad. And then you take it and you go like this side, like this, and the lashes start to lift up. Very easy, but I'm always using very little water. So why I do this is because the pores are, the reason why we say for people to not take a shower within that 24 hours is because the hair is porous, right? After the service, because we use some kind of chemical, it takes within that 24 hours for it to close up. So in a shower with the humidity, it could affect that, and it can lessen the lift. So that's why we tell people try not to take a shower, try not to go into a sauna, hot tub, swimming, because that will lessen it within that 24 hours. Okay. Where would you find, sorry, there was a question. I find which? Let me know. The styling gel? Tammy? Can you go back to slide 7? Yes. Give me 1 second. Lash chair bed for application would be, okay, hold on. There's some questions that I'm seeing that I missed. Okay, so the first one is, where would you find? So Tammy, let me know that. Can you go back to slide 7? Yes, I can. So that's slide 7. And then, sorry, let me go down to the questions. Lash chair bed for application, or would a reclining, ooh, I just lost your question. Where is it? Where would we find all this information for this? I'm going to mention it afterwards, Tammy. And in your thank you email, you get everything you need. Yeah. There was a question about the lash chair. Okay. So when you do lash services, a bed is nice to have it on because you want to give them that spa treatment. If your treatment room does not allow the space for a bed, you can use those chairs, like the microblading chairs that recline just a little bit, right? So that the client can be comfortable, and then you don't have that gravity, because sitting straight up, like I was taught to do lash lifts and lash curls sitting straight up, because in trade shows, we don't have room for a bed in our booth. So it's not the best because it's uncomfortable for your client, and it can become uncomfortable for you to work the eyes with your hands up like this. So a bed is nice. A spa bed is nice. If not, a reclining chair. Okay. A little bit of a reclining. Okay. Okay. So got it. And then Tammy. So we're going to have some slides for this to show where to get the information. So there are 2 types of glue, a service glue and a styling glue. So there's one glue for the service, and there's the styling gel. So the styling gel is used on lashes and brows. So you can use it after, like when you've done a brow lamination, to keep the brows up, and you can keep it on lashes to give them that styled effect and that conditioning and hydrating. So it's got properties in it that condition and hydrate. Okay. And it's great for the client to buy this. So you as a professional should have this in your service. When you end your services, you should do this, but you should also retail it to your customers to use it at home, especially for those customers that are coming every 6 weeks. This is a staple for them to have because they are getting processing every 6 weeks. Okay, so it's important to provide back that hydration, condition, and minerals. We do even have a care balm. And the care balm, if you haven't heard of it, is a great rich mask for your lashes and brows. So if you have somebody that came to you and said, I did lash extensions back to back, my lashes are damaged, I need to condition them and hydrate them because they're pretty damaged, that care balm is a great nighttime treatment. Or if somebody had a lash lift service that was botched and their lashes were dried out and snapped off, this would be a great product for them. See, I wouldn't have them come do a service if they told me my lashes were damaged and I can see that they were damaged. I wouldn't do the service. I would be honest with them and I would tell them, listen, here's a care balm for you to use for the next 4 to 6 weeks to bring back the vitality of your hair because it needs that deep hydration and conditioning to have the hair grow back normal and the proper density. And then after I would have them come back into my chair. So I didn't lose them as a customer. I probably sold them it's a $40 product. So I didn't sell them an $80 service, but I sold them a $40 product and they're coming back to my chair. Okay. So I asked about drying the lashes before adding the neutralizer solution. Yes, Maura. So you do dry them before you do the, before you do the neutralizer, you dry them before. So in between, whatever service you do from Reflecticel, if they require several solution steps, in between each one, when you remove it with a dry Q-tip, then you dry it. And you just put the fan over it because with brows, you can brush the brush with the fan, but with lashes, you don't want to disrupt them from the silicone pad. So you just hold the fan on top like this on the lashes so they can dry. Okay. Was that okay, Maura? I asked about drying. If I missed your question, please re-ask it because a lot of questions went up. What is the best reclining angle for a client on a bed? Usually I don't put it flat straight down. Usually I think lash extensions will put it like flat straight down. I have just a little bit of a lift because once again, if it's too flat down, you don't want the water to get into the eyes backwards. Also, if it's too high up, you don't want the water to. So it's just, I have a little bit of a reclining on my bed, very little, but it's up to you if you want to put it flat down. There's not really a position. It's whatever's comfortable to your client and to you. I just know if they're straight up, you have the gravity of the pads pushing downwards and then maybe solution getting into their eyes. Okay. How long should the lash extensions or the lash lift? We're talking about lash lift here. Lash lifts last between 4 to 6 weeks, depending on your client's aftercare. But I've had actually 6 weeks is amazing because I've even had some people go to 8 weeks. If you do a really good lash lift service, you should be getting 6 weeks on the dot, like really good. If it was weakened at first, you missed some steps. Sometimes for those people, it can last only 4 weeks. So just be mindful that you're applying the proper steps, the proper solution time, because sometimes people will use the 6 and 4 minutes on somebody's lashes that are so layered and so thick. No, you got to go higher in the timing. Okay. So lash extensions, if you're saying how long those should last, I don't do lash extensions, but usually somebody comes in 3 weeks, like they come for their touch-up every 3 weeks or so to get their refills. So, and once again, with the maintenance and so forth, it's there's maintenance that's required from it, right? But the lash lift, they can come every 6 weeks. Okay. Did I miss anybody's question? If I did, please re-ask it. I was trying to go through all of them. We do have our next webinar that's in August. So if you'd love to register, there's a QR code for you guys to register. This was just the tips that we had. I'm going to try and see if I can play the video. If I cannot play the video, I will edit it, like make it a little bit shortened because it's the video is the whole service of me doing it. I'll try to shorten it and provide that for you guys to have it as well because it turned out really well. Okay. I use an old school technique of leaving neutralizer extra time. Oh, sorry. The questions. Extra time, like I use on hair perms. Any reason to not? Yeah, they say there's no need to leave the neutralizer on longer. Actually, the neutralizer is always less the time because the hair is so porous that the neutralizer, when it sets it, it doesn't need more timing. You have to also be mindful that these are a chemical solutions, so we do not want to extend the timings that we've suggested depending on the hair density. Okay. Is the after eye care gel a must, or can you? No, you should be using. We're telling you what to use to keep the reflectacil system properly. There are gels out there that have a lot of oils, and you shouldn't be using oils after a lash lift. So the styling gel from reflectacil is the best way to end the treatment, to hydrate, to condition, and to seal in the color too. It has deep panthenol, so it helps that color to stay longer. So if you have a customer that their lash tinting or their brow tinting doesn't last that long, they should be using this. Okay. Okay, thank you. Is the aftercare gel okay? Question. Now the questions are pouring in, which is good. How do you know if the lashes have processed or if you should leave the perm longer? Is there a way to test? Unfortunately, like the brow lamination you can, lashes you can't. So it's how you inspect the lashes from before. When you client lays down, take the lashes, inspect them, feel them, touch them, sift them through. If they look very layered, if they look thicker, when they're thin lashes, you can tell they're thin. When they're medium lashes, you can start to tell they're medium because they're becoming a little bit more thicker in density. And when they're very thick and layered, you can tell. So we base the timings on that. Thin hair, 6 to 4 minutes. Thin to like medium, 8 to 5. And if they're thick and layered and male clientele, you can do 10 and 7. So that's the two solutions. The first one's the lash perm, 10 minutes, and neutralizer. So that's how you would tell. Even just by brushing through, you can feel the heaviness of the lashes. You can tell if they're thicker or if you should go longer in the solution. Okay. It leaves a crisp long. Yeah, it depends on I don't know if you've used it on a brand that allows you to go longer, because our solutions work very fast. That means they're not stronger, but they have a formulation that helps them work faster. You don't want to leave them on too long. So they always told me that the neutralizer never needs to be higher. It's always lower. But what the thing is you don't want to overprocess. So with our system, I would say no, don't do that. And also, if you're putting any type of film, we don't teach with the film because it's not great to put that around on the eyes, any plastic film, but you should even shorten your time if you're using a plastic film on the eyes, but we don't teach that. We don't suggest that. Okay. Let's see. What is some aftercare tips clients can do for the best results? So here's the protocol card that once again, we're going to upload on the website. So it means don't put any makeup for 24 hours. Don't put any oils for 48 hours. Don't go swimming. Don't do saunas. Don't do hot tubs, tannings, beds for 24 hours. Don't put any serums. Don't put any mascara for 24 hours. It's usually the oils that we say 48 hours. And then when you're like, don't put any of your gel, like the styling gel is okay because there's no oils that are going to affect the treatment. Okay. So this protocol card is really great for your clients to hand it to your clients. So when we make it accessible on the website, you can download it, print it in bulk if you are a printing company, or you can ask your distributor, your local distributor, to bring these in wherever you go to buy reflectacil. Yeah. So how many hours after service, no oil? 48 hours. We said, and then you're welcome. Prices for lash lift kit. So the lash lift kit, the price can vary distributor to distributor, and because you're in the US and the Canada, but I believe it's under $150. So, and then your revenue out of one kit can be about $2,000. So, and you can use the same kit to do brow laminations as well. Okay. They stop using the care balm before? Yes, they shouldn't use the care balm before they come for their service. I would say 48 hours or even that whole week. Like, don't use it. And then afterwards, it has to be after 48 hours. Yeah, good question. Yes, that's a webinar. If you want to register for the curl, I'll leave that on for a couple of minutes. Let me just see with the video. I don't know why it wasn't opening. It's going to make me sad. It was a good recording. I was so proud of myself that it showed it so clear and so nicely that I was so excited to showcase to you guys, but I know it's a big file. So what I'll do is I will condense it, I'll edit it, and I'll send it as a recording for you guys, as a little tutorial for you guys to see. It doesn't want to open. I'm trying to open it through my phone too, and it doesn't want to. open it, unfortunately. Okay. But okay, so where can I find hands-on seminar? So Maura, you'll have to let me send these slides so you can send me your questions and I can help you apart from the webinar because we're all over North America. So I can help you with that separately. Contest. If you want to win a lash lift kit, this is what you would need to do. Thank you, Maura. Follow our 2 Instagram accounts, and I'll show you a slide that you can scan the Instagram, which is going to be this one. But let's just do the steps first. So actually, they're right in here too. You can scan those QR codes. So make sure you're following Browista by Reflectisol and Reflectisol North America. Oh, you're welcome, Melissa. Anytime. You guys are always able to reach out to me on Instagram. On the Instagram accounts, I troubleshoot. On our website, I troubleshoot. So you'll always have our support. So when you follow these 2 accounts, take a picture. If you want to take a picture during the webinar, just don't take a picture of the contest. Take a picture of I can put another slide. But what you do, you can upload that or upload yourself after the webinar or during the webinar, upload it in your stories, tag us with these 2 accounts. And also in the comments, in one of the posts, in the comments, tag 2 of your fellow SC besties. And maybe tell us what you liked about the webinar. This gets you put into our contest to win that beautiful lash lift kit. And once again, we want to keep you within our community. We want to stay together. So follow, again, the Instagram accounts, follow the Facebook accounts. We also have a Facebook Browista group, but it's on everything Reflectisol. So join it. You can ask me questions. Everybody can learn from each other there. It's our little community. Well, we want to make it bigger. So join that as well, the Facebook. Thank you, Dana. Always love your classes. I appreciate it. I know a lot of you guys have supported a lot of the webinars. And for the new ones, I hope that this webinar helped you to gain confidence in using. Great to see you too, Samantha. I hope this webinar gives you the confidence to actually start trying out Reflectisol, going to purchase it and try it out. Let me just see what the last slide was. Here's a last slide. If you need me to go back to any of the slides to take a picture or to use a QR code, let me know. Oh, I'm excited for you, Mara. I'm excited for all of you guys to start this. Visit our website. Okay. Thank you, Tina. So see, I love this. All you guys that are so excited, this is like what I feed off of. And for the ones that are already using it, I feed off of you guys too, because you guys are supporters. Everybody's supporters. So go to the website because there are some webinars on there that I've done where you see the steps. So before I edit that video, go on the website, go to webinar recordings under education tab and watch the last lash lift webinar I did because you can see the steps that I did in the meantime until I fix this one properly for you guys. This one's going to be a lot more clear, crisper, okay, because I got a better phone. And then the website's going to be your buddy system. It's going to help you with any of the Reflectisol services. It's an education website. Just know it's not a selling website. We are the master distributorship. Thank you, Teresa. We're the master distributorship, so we don't sell directly, but we will help you find a local distributor. Online courses. If you're looking for any brow services to be certified in, we have our brow lamination and our intense browns that you can get certified. If you're looking for a $50 off coupon to go and do any of these courses, reach out to me and I'll send you one. And that's under education@cbngroup.com. If you're looking to do brow services and get certified in the US, you get a CU credit and you want a $50 coupon off, email me at education@cbngroup and I'll get that. We unfortunately do not have a lash lift course up. Hopefully we will soon, but keep me posted. And there was some other little comments. Let me just see. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. I'm glad. Okay, there were some questions. Sorry, I don't want to miss them. So thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Dallas. Oh, love the name. And thank you for always supporting our webinars. What is a typical charge to clients for a lash lift? Good question. So typically you would charge, if it's no tinting, you charge between $70 or $90. Myself, I charge $85 for a lash lift and tint. Okay. Also, another little tip is if you're starting to bring the service in and you're not really accustomed with it, first try with models and friends, right? Get comfortable with it. But if there's a client whose lashes, if they're a virgin, Same with the brow lamination. Their hairs are virgin. I always warn that customer because they're the first time coming to me. I don't know how their hair is going to take it. I warn them and I tell them, listen, your hairs are virgin. You've never done this before. There could be a slight possibility that the solutions are hard to penetrate and break down the bonds, that your first time, you're not going to get the full effect. You'll still get a lift, but it won't be that wow factor. So I would charge my customers half the price, right? Because they got a lift, but it wasn't that full effect. Then the hair, it gets accustomed to the solution. And then it starts to work better the other times they come in. As they're coming in, it gets used to it. So then I go back to the regular price. And keep that in mind too for some of the customers. That way, it's that loyalty, that trust in you, that you're not just taking their money. You want to give them that right service. Okay. So between 70 to 90 or 75 to 85, 95, the max you can go is maybe 125. Some people, depending on your demographics and where you're located. We do have on our website the files on profitability for all of our services, what the kit costs, what your supplies would cost, what your profitability would be at the end after one kit you bought. So check those out too. Like I said, they're saying, Mom, it's time to go. What I said too is like that website has so many files for you guys to download. It's from a trainer myself fixing this website, I know what you guys want. So, and we also put on the website, on the header, let us know if there's anything you'd like to see on this website that we might not have thought of. Give us feedback because we're renovating it right now. Okay. How long does a service usually take? It usually takes, okay, on your first time, think about the lash extensions, right? When you're doing them, it can take you 3 hours. And as you get better, you start to do 2 hours, and then maybe an hour and a half, right? With a lash lift, until you can perfect rolling the lashes, some people, it can take them an hour and a half first. And then you can bring it down to an hour. But if you can bring it to 45 minutes with the tint, that's good. But don't feel you have to. You can give your customer a 1 hour treatment. And if you finish the lash lift at 45 minutes, give them a little bit of massage at the end. We teach that in our webinars. Use the eye care pads to give them an eye treatment. Talk about retail. Have that 10 minutes to talk about retail. So I would suggest at the beginning, book your hour treatments. And then you can see if you have to reduce them. Clients with allergies can have lash lifts. If they have seasonal allergies, it depends. Some can do it, some can't. You have to, patch test. That's the only way you'll find out. And you should patch test 48 hours in advance and get them to go home, because some people can have a reaction in 1 hour and some people can have a reaction in 24 hours. So always do it ahead of time. Okay. And you have to patch test the glue, perm solution, neutralizer, and if they haven't done tinting, mix a tint with the oxidant, and that's the fourth area. So technically with a lash lift, you have 4 areas, like 4 sections that you have to patch test. Dallas, I did my online brow lamination course with you. Now I am going to Calgary to do the hands-on. Oh, you're doing it with Aesthetics Institute. Yes. Ooh, that's nice. Thank you, Dallas. How did you enjoy the brow lamination course? We tried to make it as meaty as we can. Brow lamination is a very easy service to do, but we did make it pretty meaty, so you have everything you need. And when you complete it, you get a bunch of files afterwards. So guys, Dallas has done it. Let's see if she made a little comment of if she enjoyed it. And now she's continuing our Reflectus educations with one of our distributors in school, Aesthetic Institute. So that's awesome. Thank you for that feedback. Tracy, very supportive and helpful. Thank you. But I'm more hands-on. I totally understand. A lot of the services are a little bit more intricate, like a lash lift. Yes, it would be nice to be getting it hands-on, but we do get the professionals that want the online as well, because maybe they can't travel and they'd like the online certification. So we try to balance that out, but I'm happy for you. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, everyone. So once again, sorry that the video wasn't playing, but I will edit it. I have all your names from registering. So I'll write myself a note that once I edit this, I will get it to you guys. I'm going to try one more attempt, but we only have 8 minutes. It went until 1:30 today, but I'll see one more attempt, but otherwise don't worry. I will send this to you guys in an email. Okay. But in the meantime, go onto our website, because I do have the webinars there. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Keep that email, keep those, join us on our Instagrams, because I troubleshoot a lot through the Instagram too. If I'm not at work, I'm a training site, or I'm traveling to do a show, my phone is with me. So when I have that little brief time, I can answer, I can troubleshoot faster through the social media platforms as well. Okay. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for the support, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And I'm looking forward to hearing about your successes with our services. Okay. And let's say bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.